It was supposed to be an ordinary morning. Mark grabbed his keys, slung his bag over his shoulder, and stepped toward the driveway. The sun was warm, the street calm, and everything seemed perfectly normal, until Rex, his loyal German shepherd, suddenly blocked his path. At first, Mark chuckled, assuming Rex only wanted a longer walk. "Not now, buddy," he muttered, but the dog's sharp eyes and stiff posture told a different story. His ears stood alert, his muscles coiled tight, and every move Mark made was met with Rex stepping in front of him, refusing to let him pass. Across the street, a couple of neighbors noticed the strange standoff. To them, it looked almost comical, an obedient man trapped by his own dog. But to Mark, something felt off. This wasn't playful behavior. Rex wasn't just standing in the way, he was guarding him from something unseen. Mark sighed and tried again. Stepping to the left, Rex lunged in front of him, teeth bared in a low, warning growl. The sound was deep, protective, not aggressive, but serious enough to freeze Mark mid-step. "Rex, what's gotten into you?" Mark muttered, tugging gently at the leash. Usually, one command was all it took for Rex to obey, but this time, the German shepherd refused. His paws scraped against the driveway, claws scratching at the concrete, holding his ground as if his owner's life depended on it. Mark's jaw tightened. "Come on, boy, I'm going to be late." He pushed forward, but Rex pulled harder, nearly dragging him back toward the porch. It wasn't stubbornness, it was determination. By now, more neighbors had gathered, curtains twitched, doors creaked open, people leaned against fences and car doors, their morning coffee forgotten, eyes fixed on the bizarre tug of war. "Maybe the dog's turning aggressive," one man whispered, arms crossed. Another shook his head. "I'd call animal control before someone gets bit." But not everyone saw danger. An older woman with silver hair stood on the curb, her face pale with worry. "No," she murmured. "German shepherds don't act like this for no reason. That dog knows something we don't." Her words silenced the murmurs. Mark felt the pressure of dozens of eyes on him, embarrassment mixing with unease. His heart thudded against his ribs. Rex had never acted like this. Something was wrong. And then, suddenly, Rex barked. Loud, sharp, urgent. It wasn't the bark of a pet begging for attention. It was the bark of a sentinel warning of danger. His body stiffened, ears pinned forward, hackles rising like jagged shadows down his back. His nose twitched furiously as he sniffed the air. The neighbors fell silent. One man frowned. "Do you smell that?" he whispered. Mark inhaled. At first, nothing. Then, faint, metallic, a bitter tang, sharp and out of place, almost like gas or burning wires. His blood ran cold. Rex growled, teeth flashing as he tugged Mark backward, his gaze locked on the car parked in the driveway, the very car Mark had planned to drive. Mark's hands trembled as he knelt beside Rex, staring at the sedan. On the surface, it looked harmless, shiny, polished, quiet in the morning sun, but Rex refused to let him near it. Each time Mark shifted forward, the dog lunged, snapping the air, pulling him back with powerful insistence. A woman gasped, "He won't let him get in." Another muttered, "Maybe there's something in the car." Mark's pulse hammered. He crouched lower, scanning the vehicle. The faint smell of gas grew stronger the closer he leaned. His stomach tightened. The crowd began to stir, phones raised, murmurs buzzing louder now. Someone called, "Step away from it, Mark, that dog knows something's wrong." Mark swallowed hard. His instincts screamed to ignore them, to push past Rex and go, but another part of him, the part that had trusted Rex for years, hesitated. "Easy, boy," he whispered, eyes locked on his dog's quivering frame. Rex's entire body was coiled like a spring, every muscle tensed, his gaze fixed with deadly focus on the sedan. Then Mark saw it. Just beneath the car, a flicker of something, thin, wiry, metallic, dangling loosely from the undercarriage. At first, he thought it was a stray cable, but then the smell hit him again, stronger this time, gasoline. His throat went dry. The neighbors gasped as Mark's hand froze midair. Rex barked again, a thunderous sound that rattled against the houses. And in that moment, Mark understood. The car wasn't safe. It wasn't just leaking fuel, Someone had tampered with it. Rex had stopped him from stepping into a trap. Curiosity turned into dread as the crowd edged closer to the parked car. The air felt heavy, as if the street itself was holding its breath. A brave neighbor, a man in his 50s with worry carved deep into his face, stepped forward. Slowly, cautiously, he crouched by the car. His hand hovered inches above the gravel, his body tense like a wire ready to snap. He leaned in, peering beneath the vehicle. Then he froze. His face went pale, eyes widening in horror. "Don't touch it," he shouted, his voice cracking through the silence like a gunshot. The words rippled through the onlookers, sending a jolt of fear into every chest. Mothers pulled their children back, older men stiffened, and conversations died instantly. Everyone stared, waiting, desperate to understand. The man pointed with a trembling finger. His hand shook so violently that he almost seemed unable to keep it steady. Mark's heart pounded against his ribs. His legs felt weak, but he forced himself forward. His hands trembled as he crouched down, pressing one palm to the ground to keep balance. He lowered his head and peered into the darkness beneath his car. At first, he saw nothing but shadow. He blinked, squinting, his breath shallow. Then, he froze. Something unnatural clung to the underside of his vehicle. A crude shape, a cluster of wires, a small, black box taped carelessly in place with strips of electrical tape dangling loose at the edges. His stomach dropped. Gasps erupted behind him. Someone whispered, barely audible, "Is that a bomb?" Mark's throat went dry. His mind reeled, struggling to process what his eyes were telling him. The world tilted. He staggered back, almost collapsing, his knees turning to water. He stared at the car, then at Rex, then back at the horrifying discovery. If he had started the engine just minutes earlier, if he had ignored his dog's frantic barking, there wouldn't be a street left to stand on. Rex barked furiously now, the sound sharp, relentless, and full of urgency. He lunged against his leash, straining toward the car, as though determined to keep anyone from getting too close. His instincts, so easily dismissed before, were now proven in the most terrifying way possible. One of the neighbors, hands shaking so badly she nearly dropped her phone, dialed emergency services. The seconds crawled by like hours until, at last, the distant wail of sirens filled the air. Blue and red lights painted the walls of the houses as security officers and bomb disposal experts flooded the street. The specialists wasted no time. They pushed the stunned neighbors back, roping off the area. Voices were calm but urgent, their movements precise yet hurried. Then came the confirmation Mark had been dreading. "The car has been rigged to detonate. Stay clear." The words struck like thunder. Gasps, sobs, whispered prayers. Fear spread like fire among the gathered crowd. The bomb squad went to work. Each move was deliberate, their hands steady even as the danger loomed. Sweat ran down Mark's temple as he stood frozen, forced to watch. He could hardly breathe. Every tick of the clock was a lifetime, every adjustment of wire a gamble with fate. His legs felt rooted to the ground. He wanted to run, to hide, to escape, but his body wouldn't obey. His eyes flicked to Rex, who hadn't stopped growling low in his throat, muscles tight, ears pinned back. The dog stayed planted by his side, as if anchoring him against the terror. Finally, a muffled shout broke the tension. "It's safe. We've got it." The collective exhale that followed was like a wave crashing over the street. Shoulders sagged, hands clutched chests. A woman burst into tears. Relief spread, but the weight of what had nearly happened pressed down on every heart. Mark dropped to his knees, his strength drained, and buried his face into Rex's fur. The truth was undeniable now. Rex hadn't just saved his owner, he had saved every single person standing on that street. As the bomb squad carried the disarmed device away, silence hung heavy. The neighbors, who had once whispered doubts about the misbehaving dog, now stared in awe. Their eyes shifted between Mark and Rex, reverent, shaken, grateful. That same playful pet they once scolded for barking too much had just prevented a massacre. Mark sank onto the curb, his chest rising and falling with ragged breaths. Rex pressed firmly against him, his strong body steady and reassuring. The dog tilted his head slightly, his eyes calm now, as if to say, "I told you so." Mark wrapped his arms around Rex's thick neck, clinging to him as though letting go would mean losing everything. His voice cracked as he whispered, "You saved me, boy, you saved us all." Around them, neighbors wiped at their eyes. Some stepped forward to offer shaky words of gratitude, reaching out hesitant hands to touch the brave dog. The older woman, the one who had defended Rex when others complained, nodded knowingly, tears glimmering in her eyes. "That dog," she murmured softly, "is a hero." Mark lifted his head, his vision blurry, and for the first time since the ordeal began, he allowed the full truth to settle into his heart. If not for Rex, his stubborn, relentless, fiercely loyal companion, he would have walked straight into a death trap. The thought made his stomach twist, but it also filled him with a gratitude so deep it nearly brought him to tears again. From that day forward, one thing was certain. Mark would never again doubt his dog's instincts. Rex had not only saved his life, he had proven himself to be a protector, a guardian, and a hero. And as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the quiet street, Mark knew he would carry this moment with him for the rest of his days.
If this tale moved you, if you felt the tension, the heartbreak, and the triumph, please support our channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more thrilling, emotional, and inspiring stories your way. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think. Do you believe dogs have an extraordinary sixth sense? Share your thoughts and personal stories with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.